All right. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Just trying out that background music. All right. We got Andrew Cassidy in the house. I already see Clarence Beeks in the chat room. It's great to see you, Clarence. Miss saying that name. Yeah, this is my good friend, Andrew Cassidy. I'll tell you his social security number later. So anyway, we are going to recap this week of football. We're just going to start on the ESPN page. We're going to rip down the games, give our takeaways. But first, I would say, and also Andrew's going to low-key have the game on in the background, and we're just going to see if maybe we can just, that's okay.
Yeah,
it might just be okay.
Off, but yeah, maybe when your eyes kind of move, you'll see it. You're kind of just looking at Ryan Clark right now, but we'll see. Maybe
it's going to be Clark that gets us.
Some hot.
That guy's a real bastard.
Yeah. What he said that
you just have to run the football.
Yeah, he said so. Oh yeah, he said George Pickens was better than Justin Jefferson talent-wise before the season. I remember that one.
That's a great take.
That's a
great take.
Yeah, but he also was a Steelers guy, so.
Oh, true. But that's an awesome take. Like, I'm having a hard time, like, just being that guy that comes up with a crazy take that I don't actually believe.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? You kind of lose your credibility, but that's what all these guys do. It's like clickbait. I mean, Skip Bayless was the king of that, but I mean, you can have your own take. I think it helps if it's on your own team, so people kind of write it off as that. But like, I mean, you could make the argument that McCaffrey's the best running back in the league, but that's not even like crazy. But you could maybe an Ayuk take. Like, where do you have them ranked on your receivers?
Top 6.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who now? Like, yeah, is he better than Jamar Chase? You can make that argument.
Yo, Eddie, it's great to see you, man. You know what? I will say I'm so happy. I'm going to be super happy if a bunch of the old the Krug Show folks start piling in here. I've been putting this off. I got to just say this. So I said, you know what? I'm moving to LA. I'll really start focusing on the channel when I move to LA. Then I moved to LA. It's been like 2.5 weeks, and I'm like, well, I'll wait till I got to wait till I get settled. I got to get settled. I don't even know where I'm watching the games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have my studio set up. And my buddy Andrew, he was like, dude, Monday, this is fire college football, great NFL. We simply must do a show. And so here we are doing it. And also I want to say, Andrew, massive Raiders fan. So it's kind of good. There's some great West Coast bias here.
Yeah. We can get into that game later, but oh my God. Yeah, I mean, every college and football NFL reporter, it's like the West Coast gets written off, and we're here to back it.
We're here to not just back it, but maybe exploit it. Wait, that's maybe not the right word.
I'm here to tell you the Pac-12 is the best conference. So
it is. I mean,
if you want to leave after that,
simply is this year.
All right, you want to run through the games?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start. Just a quick note. Obviously, it's kind of a dead horse. It's been beaten into the ground, I'm sure, by all the Niner content creators already. But Giants, Niners, Purdy's first. So I didn't get to go on Larry's show after that. Cassidy, it'd be interesting to hear your perspective because you're not a Niners fan. So what were you like? Damn, Purdy's turned into a pumpkin first half.
I've always had this thing, and I mean, the Niners fans piss me off a little bit because I've had shitty quarterbacks my whole entire career, and it's like, bitched about Jimmy G. Maybe the Trey Lance was justified, but Shanahan is the best play caller in the league. And if you have a quarterback that sits in there like Purdy's doing, does not make mistakes, you're going to have success. When someone tries to do too much in that offense, that's why I didn't understand Trey Lance. You don't need a running quarterback. And he just doesn't make mistakes. And you still look at that stat that everyone says he technically has not lost a game as a starting quarterback, because the only loss is that game against the Eagles where did he get injured in the first quarter? So you can't argue with wins. And I can argue, it's how good the offense is and stuff like that, but you're still making decisions as a quarterback. And he's making good throws. Like that throw to Debo, he had that deep ball, like where it was kind of like a fade, corner catch, but he's making big throws. And so I'm looking at a 111 like rating, 25 for 37, 310. That was his first game over 300 yards, I think. But
you might be right.
Yeah. And it's dominant offense, and it's crazy they're not even using Elijah Mitchell that much.
I know, and that is kind of bonkers.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me happy is I feel like Kittle was not used as much with Jimmy. I don't know why. And Kittle's back. I mean, the Niners are the best team in the league.
They are. It's funny because I'm at a point where like I kind of wanted Brock Purdy to suck for a game, but what I didn't want was I didn't want him to suck on national TV, because then all of a sudden like all the like pundits and shit, they're like, oh damn, like he turned into and then they're just gonna have that in their head forever, and then all of a sudden, and that's just annoying. I just wanted him to like kind of botch it in like a game that was maybe a little quiet, like amidst the chaos of 10 a.m. games, and then the Niners fan base could kind of calm down a little bit. Mm-hmm. He needed to like have a bad game at some point, but then he turned it into a good game. So
like a come down to earth game. That's what everyone's looking for.
Yeah.
And it's weird because Purdy too, like with Mahomes, I'm not comparing him to Mahomes, but you get that huge publicity, and like every quarterback, you get the advertisements and like huge. Purdy just kind of flies under the radar. And like for me and many other people, like East Coast and Midwest people, it's like, who is this guy? Like I feel like he doesn't have an identity.
Dude, what did you think? Because you're a huge call. Oh, Aaron's calling me. Yeah, right. Okay, you're a huge college football guy. What was your thoughts about Purdy at Iowa State? Like, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, Iowa State is always like low key good. Like you're at least a 7-4 season every time, and then they go in and beat someone like Texas. They beat someone like Baylor. He was always there. I mean, they have sick all black uniforms. They have a great home turf, but yeah, you're guaranteeing a 7-4, like a December 30th, like January 3rd bowl game. And it was always a tough out. So, I mean, he was last pick in the draft. We've heard this story a million times, like Mr. Irrelevant or ever, but I remember you in training camp and Kruger as well. Like you guys coming out and saying, this Brock Purdy guy, like he's good. I was just like, what? And then he comes in. I mean, that's what happens though. People get their opportunities, right? Like people go down and all of a sudden you get this opportunity, and he came in and like he got the fucking job done.
Yeah. And well, that was like the thing. I'd say God must really love Purdy. Dog almost threw 3 to 4 picks in the first half of all. Yes. Huge. He's a big God guy also, which good for him. I kind of want my quarterback to be a God guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's not a piece of shit. Like, I don't know, Baker, like we're going to watch tonight.
Yeah.
Remember when he was at Oklahoma, him just like grabbing his balls against Kansas and flipping them off? Like, yeah, you don't necessarily want that. You don't want too much criticism like surrounding your quarterback too. And I think that's coming back to what you're saying. That's what people are looking for. Like they want to shit on Purdy, but what do you shit on him for?
I tried to get it out of him, like in like, when he was a nobody.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, so okay, be real. Like, so you're telling me all you do is football, and then you have maybe an hour at the end of the day and you spend that calling your family or reading? And I was like, dude, like what? I like actual challenge flag. Like, you cannot tell me. And like at the most he would say is like, yeah, like I mean, the guys did tell me like Lord of the Rings, like I should check that out. So
is he just like the most boring guy ever?
He seems like a pretty good. He seems like a pretty good guy. Like he's kind of shrewd. I know, dude. I'm always trying to find people's faults.
Yeah.
What's wrong? What's wrong with Purdy?
Yeah. What's your angle? Just trying to find something bad in every single person when they're just probably a good guy. Yeah.
Speaking of trying to find an angle, though, like I just don't really know what the interesting angle is with the Niners until it's almost like, okay, been there, done that. Like they're gonna go to the playoffs. There's not really
gonna go to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, like it's kind of like wake me up in the playoffs sort of mode. Like,
yeah, I mean, it seems just like I mean, you guys won the last 13 games last year, the regular season, right? It's like autopilot almost. And you know what the main thing is for you guys every year, and I'm gonna knock on wood right now, is
Injuries.
like, I don't know what they put in the water over there in Santa Clara, but like, fuck, dude, it's every year. I mean,
And it's a
and I
clean
just pray
sheet
that
so
doesn't
far, which
happen.
is crazy.
Clean sheet. And I mean, dude, it's getting to the point where it's like the old Warriors, like you're gonna be up in the fourth, sit your fucking starters.
I know. Yeah,
But
shit.
this is the NFL. It's not like gonna be complete domination. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's autopilot. You're always gonna have to get through those games like in Seattle. And even like Seattle's just they're a good team, they're a tough out, but getting through those games, I don't know what the schedule looks like the rest of the way, but I think it's like middle of the road.
Yeah, middle
I
of the
don't know.
road. They've got the boys in
What do
like a
you
2 weeks.
what's your take on the Giants after that game?
Oh, I mean, they're kind of okay, I guess.
Yeah, like they made the playoffs last year at like I think it was like the weird record like 9-7-1 or something.
Yeah,
But oh man, like Daniel Jones, like talk about the epitome of just average.
I know, dude. He's like,
Like
but he's kind of annoying when he's like, when he's just like not
he
playing
runs well.
quarterback and he's just running. Yes, when he's
He's
just
he's
running.
the most low key runner in the league. Like he's like rated one of the best running quarterbacks, which is mind blowing. But I don't know. They struggled against the Cardinals, had that huge comeback, and it's just like there's not much to say about that game instead of just like, you guys were just the better team. And
Oh
that's just
wow, the Giants are kind of screwed. They
oh their
they're
schedule is brutal.
they're playing the Seahawks, then they're at the Dolphins, at the Bills, Commanders. That could be one, and
Well, here's
yeah,
their
they could
issue
have
with
one
their
more.
division. You have the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders, who I think are all better than them.
Oh, definitely.
But the Cowboys, like they're better. Eagles are clearly better, and Commanders, from what we've seen, are better.
Yeah.
That'll be like those games always suck, Giants and Commanders, and they're always Sunday night every fucking time.
I'm so sick.
But
This is
I think this year it's like relatively interesting. The Commanders being good in that division is just good as a football fan because they're gonna be on Sunday Night Football, and I need them to be competitive, and I can't watch like the OG Kirk Cousins or like something like that or like Heineke and Sam Howell like he has his sparks. He has his
yeah.
sparks. And that offense has it like weapons, which is fun to watch. Like Scary Terry's good, and then Dotson's fun to watch. Robinson post gun wound, like it's fun to watch.
Who, by the way, I have him in fantasy in a lot of leagues. Gun wound aside, it kind of just makes me nervous, like that he runs so upright. Like he's like
Like
6'2"
Latavius
or
Murray.
6'3". Yeah, it's like DeMarco Murray-esque.
Yeah,
But
Latavius runs like that. Yeah.
I just always feel like those guys, like even Henry to an extent, but he's such a
He's
freaking
so big
unit.
it doesn't matter.
But it's just like I feel like those guys get just stuffed like all the time. Like if they can get into open space, it's good. But y'all seen $40 million average? Oh, Daniel Jones. Oh, see, that's the
dude.
Sam Howell. He's just good enough to keep talking yourself into him.
Yeah. I mean, oh god, that game, it was like the amount. I did see a tweet about that, and it was the amount paid that game, and it was like Purdy was like 120,000, Daniel Jones, whatever fucking that math is. It's like, oh man. And I don't know when Purdy's extension is, like what money they're gonna pay him, but think like everyone always says, well, where's this money coming from the Niners? It's like, what do you mean they're paying their quarterback nothing? Like they can afford that, and as long as you guys can milk that, holy shit! And I feel like Purdy's a guy that take a pay cut. He's just that guy. Like he doesn't live the kind of like lavish life like he needs all that money, and I feel like he's just not cocky. But that kind of all depends on your agent.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's like it's almost advantageous for the national to try and get like a national thing going that like Purdy's like pretty not that good and like that it's all the system because I will say, as great as like
He makes
perfect as
throws.
he is, it will get scary if it gets to the point like in 3 years or whatever, and it's time for the big fatty.
Yeah. I did see, oh my God, that's Daniel Jones eyes. I feel like that happens once every 3 weeks. He was like this. He's like,
He's got a stupid face.
yeah, deer in headlights. But will you guys ever get away from this quarterback thing?
Uh,
Like what you just described, it's like, when we get there, like this and that, it's like you've had like 15 and above ranked, and it's like everyone's always, and I do too. It's like everyone's thinking about, oh, will Purdy perform in this big moment? And I guess that's gonna happen in this Cowboys game in 2 weeks. Like, see what happens there, because that defense is crazy good.
yeah.
I mean, Parsons might be from what I've seen and what people say is maybe the best player in the league, which is a wild take, but
Dude, I hear that too. So there is a thing, another diatribe. There's a thing, especially in these national TV games. Like,
yeah,
for example, that Raiders Steelers game. It's like with wide receivers and edge rushers. It's like if there's a big one in those games. So like Devonte Adams, like they're like Devonte Adams. He might be the best receiver in the league. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
they always do
Collinsworth.
that.
Or the same thing with TJ. I just can't see how there's anyone better than this guy. Blah blah blah. But then it's gonna be Micah Parsons, and he's gonna
Myles
be doing the same
Garrett.
thing, and then Tyreek Hill and the same thing, and
Yeah,
Myles Garrett and Bosa, and
I'm kind of here for that though, dude. Like, just
yeah,
give me the stars. And defensive ends, like maybe the most valuable position in football, and if you're going to showcase him, and that's why people like you don't think about it, but playing in prime time is a big deal.
yeah.
Like Devontae last night lived up to the hype. Like TJ Watt lived up to the hype. It's like those are the games that put you on the map if you weren't already there.
Absolutely. I think Devonte Adams owners in fantasy have to be pretty stoked.
He won me my game.
Yeah, he went nuts.
Dude, he had like 37 points last night or something. He had like 100. He had 11 receptions, 120 yards, 2 TDs. We'll take that.
Okay, all right. Let's start it. Let's start ripping through the games. All right, Titans,
All right.
Browns.
Oh, all right. So the Browns like having a historic defensive one. I mean, it's like less than 600 yards total for the whole 3 games. Which think about the NFL now, under 600 yards for 3 games. Myles Garrett is insane. Like before the end of the half, it was like going to be a layup field goal, and he tackled pretty much the left tackle and ran him into the quarterback and sacked the quarterback, knocked him out of field goal range, no timeout. Vrabel looked like he was going to kill someone, but
There was the delay of game thing with the two tight ends running all around.
It's like, but do you want to watch the Browns? Not really. It's just going to be that team where they'll probably be a wild card and losing wild card. But
so you're telling me that the Browns have allowed less than 600 yards, and I think the Dolphins had 700 yards in the game this weekend. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
the Browns are the Browns defense is legit. Do you think we're going to see? I mean, obviously, this was probably Deshaun Watson's best game. Do you think we're going to see DTR at any point this year?
I don't, dude. I forget what the guaranteed money is, but it's like, I don't think so. There's no way. I mean, I want to.
Yeah.
But was it 240 million guaranteed?
Some ungodly.
I just amount. Like as a franchise and as a billionaire funding that, you just can't.
They're showing the Mike Williams injury again on the TV. Dude. It makes me butthurt.
How many ACLs is that? 3 or 4? You just
a lot of ACL. I mean, they drafted the TCU kid like because they knew that this was going to happen. But
you know what's fucked
hasn't
up
really gotten around.
When I looked at fantasy and drafting one of them, like that's why I drafted him in one league. Like you just assume completely that Mike Williams and Keenan are going to miss time. Which you think about other wide receiver duos, though. You don't think that way. With them, you're like one of them's going to get injured, and I hate rooting for injury. It's not what I'm doing, but it's just becoming realistic at this point, which is fucked.
Oh, I dropped. I had had Quentin Johnston in 3, not to be the fantasy guy, but in 3 of my 4 leagues, I
Nobody
dropped
gives a
him.
shit.
But I dropped him literally just it just was painful.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, the 9:30 waiver wire.
Dak
But
is Jimmy. Mark Graves says Dak is Jimmy G. Some of that guy's throws are Jimmy like. That touchdown or the interception. Whoo.
everyone was waiting for the first Dak pick.
He led the league in picks last year.
Yeah. Oh man. Wait, anything before we go? Anything on the Titans?
Tannehill, just another one of these quarterbacks. Jimmy G, Tannehill, Deshaun Watson. What? No, you're right. That's not fair. More so I'm playing to the public perception. I don't truly believe that. But I would say Tannehill, who's in with Tannehill?
Tannehill, Jimmy.
No,
Ritter.
Tannehill, Ritter.
Ritter, Carr. Are you throwing Carr in there? Are you throwing
Cousins
in there?
Bad. Cousins has been good. I mean, Tannehill has been pretty underrated.
Tannehill is
Jimmy G level.
Tannehill's a coin flip.
Every game
from week to week. And what's his name? I've heard is just not that good. Will Levis. I've heard he's just not that good.
I mean, they also have Malik Willis, and he's just
Oh, where did he go? Liberty. Liberty. Yeah, I mean,
it's the classic. Just people are so obsessed with upside. Oh my god! You see the tools on that kid at Liberty.
Yeah, it's like,
imagine him in this offense.
It was his toughest game, Coastal Carolina. Like, come on. I mean, you have those rare guys who come out of small colleges like Josh Allen or Jimmy G, but I mean, man, I feel bad for the Titans because I hate to say it because all I want to see is Derrick Henry stiff arms for the next 10 years. But are we seeing towards the near end of his career?
Eddie K saying Tannehill without Henry the last 4 or 5 years ain't crap.
That's true.
Could be. I mean,
so Henry's 30 years old. Think about that. Like, how much longer do we have of him? I mean, he's the most stable running back possible, I would say. But I don't know. The Titans, like, every year, it's similar to the Dolphins and the Chargers. You're going to be around 500. And it's a matter of can you squeeze into the playoffs?
Like, I trust in Vrabel that they'll somehow pull it out of their ass and start stacking wins. But it's just one of those teams where it's like, where is the explosive plays going to come from? Like, unless Henry, once it starts getting cold, Henry could, start ripping them off. Tractor Cito season. But
people starting to like not want to tackle. Like, like 12, and it's just
exactly. And then Burks, I guess.
Hopkins.
Well, that's the thing. Hopkins
you're hitting your 10-yard catch.
Hopkins actually reminds me of Pickens, kind of. Obviously, Pickens can go, but just honestly, it's Kenny Pickett that has forced him to look like Hopkins because Hopkins runs like a 5.3 right now. But he's still, you throw the ball up to the guy and he will make the catch. He's a jump ball receiver, but he's not making explosive plays anymore.
No, I mean, Burks had 1 catch. They scored 3 fucking points.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that. I mean, that's hard to do.
Well, so do you think Browns in that division? I guess we can keep it moving and maybe we'll get to some of the other people in that division. But I like the Browns. All right, Falcons, Lions.
So Falcons, I thought they'd have a chance in this game. I mean, that's what's up, Hunt?
What's up, Hunt?
That's kind of what you think when a team starts 2-0. I mean, they should have lost week 2. They went for it on 4th down on their own 20, down 2, and threw a pitch. That was almost a disaster. But turns out they can't throw the ball. And when you can't throw the ball,
the line of scrimmage.
And you're having like Ritter come from behind, nothing's going to go well. And the Lions are just like, they were so overhyped coming into the season. I mean, it was the first time they've sold out season tickets in like 15 years since Megatron. but you can't have Ritter come from behind. Lions like are just solid. Like they're just a talented team. Maybe the coaching is not fully there. Like they're not like an elite team who's going to have 12 wins, but you're going to guarantee 9 wins. I'd say at Lions.
Do you feel confident about them in the division?
Yeah. I mean, you have the Bears, so that's 2 wins.
Yep.
And then Packers and Vikings. Vikings could be a loss any week. Packers, you're going to take 1 at home.
Vikings, well, we haven't got to them yet, but Vikings could be without Kirk Cousins.
They could be without wins or playoffs.
Yeah, for the rest of the year.
That was a winner go home game. We'll get there, but so what are your thoughts on the Falcons? Like that division's up for grabs as it always is with Saints, Panthers. Like it's up for grabs. They could win the division, which is so hard to say. But like, are you going to say that's a ridiculous take?
Oh, they're just that.
I
appreciate them. I appreciate them. Arthur Smith.
I appreciate your effort.
Yeah, like I see what you're doing, Falcons, and like good for you, but like I want you. You're not fun. Like they suck all the fun out of. Like I don't know what they think about every draft, every like top 7 pick they get. They're like, let's get Bijan, let's get Drake London, let's add Kyle Pitts. Inexplicably trade away Calvin Ridley, but like it's like you have a zillion weapons now, so congratulations. But we're
just gonna run the ball down your throat when we can.
Like they're I don't even think Bijan's great, but I don't think he's like the kind of guy that you can just hand the ball off to in a stacked box and just like.
Well, they're only giving him 50% of the share. Number one, like fucking
bring back Cordero Patterson,
please. I know Hunt's the biggest Cordell guy ever for good reason.
He wasn't. Yeah. He was fire last year. Who was their quarterback? Was that Mariota?
Mariota.
Oh, bring back Mariota.
That's such a Falcons move. Like we're gonna go get Mariota from the Raiders to back up QB, and he's gonna be our guy. It's like, and we're not gonna draft a quarterback.
Oh wait, do the Raiders have Mariota as backup?
They did, and then the Falcons went and got him. But it's like you're just gonna confirm with nothing in training camp. Like Mariota's our guy. It's like you're Falconsing me. Like,
you know what? Speaking of Mariota, I can't tell if it was because I was young, but wasn't he like
at Oregon?
Extremely well at Oregon? But even his like first year in the NFL, wasn't he like? Were you like, damn, this guy is gonna be like one of the best quarterbacks in the league for the next 15 years.
Yeah, he was in like that RG3 era.
Yeah.
And there was the Titans, but then he ran way too much. He was inaccurate as a quarterback, and the Titans just moved on.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's like Ryan Tannehill's show. But who's the backup for the Falcons, which may reappear this year? Taylor Heineke.
Oh.
I guarantee he reappears.
Give me Heineke. Heineke and the Falcons sounds electric. That Ritter. I think the thing is, I guess he's got his cute little streak at home. Like he hasn't lost in home or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really care. Okay, enough with the fucking.
Yeah. They probably didn't deserve that much.
I'm boring myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have Packers Saints. So big storyline here. Carr gets injured. We get back the man, the myth, the legend, Jameis. The Saints lost 17-18, and they were up 17-0.
It was the biggest comeback in Packer history.
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter.
LaFleur with a huge analytics play.
When rarely works.
16. Yep, he was down 16, went for 2. Wish McDaniels had a mind like that. That'll come later. But great. At first, I don't really think I've seen that work successfully. And they scored and they lined up for 2. Jordan Love immediately looked and was like, let's go. LaFleur, like, no hesitation, like, ran a play action. And I was like, wow. Like, my brain didn't think that way.
I know. The math is hard to do.
Yeah, it's like,
even when it's
what do you
basic.
just study? Yeah, but there are guys who are better at it. Like some
Yeah.
teams would not even have thought of that, right? Because you have such a mind of old school NFL for so long. But then, I mean, is there really a downside of? I can't do math right now, but was there a downside of going for 2 versus 1? Because what you're down, so you end up down 8.
Then you'd have to get it. Then you'd have to get an 8. You'd have to get
Yeah. So what's the downside?
I mean, what 2 point is like
Yeah, so
50%
you could do.
chance.
Yeah. All right, that's putting my brain in a blender.
Yeah, I
But
won't do that math.
good job, Matt LaFleur.
But I believe it. You know what? Also, because it's a young team, I think
Mhm.
there's some flaws in like I don't know some of these older coaches that now have analytics departments like
Yeah,
that like just kind of tell them what to do. It's like
yeah,
all of a sudden it's kind of clunky. It's like, oh, they're going to go for the 2 point here because it's the right thing to do. And it feels a little clunky. That felt like the team understands that, like, when we're in this situation, it's this
yeah,
score, or like we're doing this. And so they were like comfortable with it.
yeah. And they practice that, right? I mean, and maybe it's just Jordan Love because he went in and like the quarterback just knows. And if I mean, they were both on the same page, but
What do
it
you
was
think of Jordan
interesting to
Love?
see. Oof.
He kind of had his first poopy game.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have an opinion yet. If we're being
Yeah.
honest, I can try to
Yeah.
stir one up, but
Yeah.
number one, I have not really watched the Packers game.
Give me
I
one
watched that
national
game.
TV game and I will
Yeah.
have a firm opinion.
I mean, Rodgers leaves and you're fucked. Like you're
Yeah.
not getting. I'm looking right now. They don't have one. They have Thanksgiving, then Chiefs in December. That'll never come. So.
Oh, but they're playing at the Raiders.
Oh, there we go. I'll have a take after that in 2 weeks. There we go.
I'll tell you what, I'll have a take by the 22nd of October. I'll have a firm, ironclad, immovable take because they're going to play the Lions this week. So that should be, they should be able to put up some
Broncos
points.
game.
Yes. If he looks poor, if he can't look good in the Bronx, like he has to look good in 2 out of the 3 of the next games.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's serviceable.
He's
serviceable. He's the tier above the young quarterbacks that are like Ritter.
Yeah, because
right?
he can throw past the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
And sometimes it looks sick. Sometimes it looks pretty cool.
I mean, he was the best statistical quarterback after the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, going off.
I don't know. I mean, so he had 250. Yeah, let's see what his pass rating was. I mean, I don't fuck him. I don't really care. You know, it was
all right. And then do we not care about the Saints? I mean, they have they have a good defense.
The one thing I'll say is we've had this Jameis conversation. Once Carr went down, they immediately went to Jameis. No Taysom Hill, which was interesting.
Well,
I mean, he was in, but in terms of starting quarterbacks, like Jameis was the guy. So, I mean, it's great for viewership. It's electric. It's just what I want to see. Like, I want to see a Jameis pregame speech. It's a circus show, but it's so good for the NFL and everything on the internet to have Jameis playing.
I want them to take the training wheels off, though. Like this sort of like responsible, like Sean Payton organization sort of situation that's gotten him to be like a little bit more of a conservative. I want to see Tampa Jameis.
Unleashed.
I want to see him whipping the ball down the field. What's that? Shaheed?
Shaheed. Oh my God.
Whatever the hell it is. That guy's fast.
Shaheed. Shaheed.
Launch into him. Launch into Olave. Launch it. Mike Evans. Michael Thomas.
You can only control him so much.
Yeah.
There was a clip where Carr was getting a play and the coach said deep ball and Jameis's eyes popped. Like he needs it. He needs it for it, and he's gonna do it. But
and like they get Kamara back this week.
Do you remember what he did?
It wasn't good. It was something at the Pro Bowl or something.
Yeah, he beat up someone at a strip club.
Well,
we all knew that going into the Pro Bowl. Let's have it in Vegas. Something's gonna happen. So he got in a confrontation at a strip club and beat someone up. It's like, all right,
was it a
man? Slap you with 4 games, and everyone will forget about it, and we'll go on our merry way.
Okay. I mean, those are some. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking too much about Tampa wins, Jameis. But like, if they open that offense up, Kamara,
I thought
Olave,
that with
Thomas.
Carr. I mean, Carr,
Yeah,
like, he'll sling it around. So I don't see why. They are just conservative. And you know what the weird thing with the Saints is?
yeah. Kamara might have just been. He might have just had a bounty.
Yeah.
Yes, take care of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, forgetting the still of Michael Thomas. Oh my God. You know what? I don't know how long Carr's out, but Michael Thomas could not have been more prime for a Derek Carr check down.
I
And the first
know.
game, he got like 8 targets in the first half because I mean, I watched Derek Carr forever. That's all he does. He gets stressed out and drops it. And Michael Thomas was running a slant every play. So he was there, but so any fantasy value that goes down. But we'll see. I mean, they have weapons. I feel like every team in that division just has weapons, but like it doesn't come together fully. So it's
Yeah.
like
Let's just hope that Kamara doesn't have any weapons. What do you think? Hertz equals trash. Oh, you know what? I'm not even watching this stupid game. I'm just slightly glancing. So yeah, we never gave our like takes for the beginning of this game, but we decided before this that we were officially an anti-Eagle podcast.
Anti-Eagles.
They're
This has
total
nothing to do with
frauds.
my dad being annoying about the Eagles either, I swear.
Yeah, he's a total fraud, or they're a fraud. They're a total fraud.
Yeah,
I like to see Jake Elliott kicking field goals. That's good.
So they during the offseason, like I feel like every week I saw them losing someone on defense. And everyone's like, oh, this Eagles defense. It's like, fuck out of here, dude. They gave up so many points the first 2 weeks, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold they're going to cruise through this NFC East with the Cowboys and sneaky Commanders and the Giants. It's not easy. And you know what? I don't care how many running backs you have. Okay? Like, only so many can play, and not all of them can receive. Gainwell can, but like, I don't know. I'm just so anti-Eagles. It just pissed me off.
Dude, what is the Eagles as an organization? Just they need to go to Hoarding Anonymous for hoarding running backs because they always have like 5. It's like Boston Scott, Gainwell, obviously Swift. Why am I just completely botching it right now? Mostly Boston Scott. I never understand.
It's
and Jalen Hurts is a running back, kind of.
Gainwell's kind of your number one, which is crazy. I'm a huge Gainwell guy. That's the only person I'll get behind.
He's got a great name.
Yeah, and you're missing one, I think. Or I'm missing one too, but
we're missing a big one.
What? Okay, let's get back on track here. So the next game we have is the game. So I'll let you start here. Like, what is your first thought on?
We're talking Broncos. We're talking. So I I like to see, not especially since it's like AFC. I like to see my Niners squad, my Shanahan squad. I like to see them succeed. So like I'm rooting for Jimmy G. I'm rooting for him to do well for Vegas. But like I really like that Mike McDaniels is just like kicking ass, because it further gives me confirmation bias that Shanahan is a phenomenal coach and play caller. And it's kind of like,
don't have to argue that with me. I'm fully on that train.
So it's they're just so shocking because it looks like they're playing basketball. Like it looks like the Golden State Warriors and Mike McDaniel. I remember when he first got there, and it was like, okay, like I kind of see what you're doing, because it was like right after Debo had his first giant year where he was running the ball and just like it was like Debo's best year, and it was just like all that kind of stuff, plus like Mostert being all fast. And I was like, well, what are they going to do with the Dolphins? Just immediately go out, get Tyreek Hill. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's kind of seems impulsive. Like new coach, you're just going to do that. And then you draft Jalen Waddle, just the fastest guy. I'm like, how many times have we seen like
all that this week without Waddle?
I know. Well, that's what's
Wild.
crazy. But then
No
they
Waddle
get
this week, and they did that.
they get Mostert. They
Mm.
bring in Mostert, who anybody who plays Madden or is a Niners fan knows is the fastest running back in the league. They bring in this A chain. I call him A Train.
A-Train. Where'd he go?
He's like an Olympic sprinter level,
Yeah,
bro.
track and field star like Tyreek.
Yeah, and he just looks like Tyreek. Like you just can see it, like him on the field, like the way he's moving around. Texas
A&M.
Well,
yeah, he didn't have many stats there either. Oh my God, was he hurt? He had 910 yards 1 year and then 364. But I think so. There's so many weird.
And then bringing in. So last year they looked. They were showing it. Obviously, it all comes down to Tua's health. They even brought that. It was like similar to Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to Tua's health. I love what they're doing. It's like more of a. It's like he has a different vision than the Shanahan. The Shanahan's a little bit more like running and being like power physical, shorter throws. This is like he's trying to like he's just getting so stoned, and he's like, imagine if I could just play like Madden Ultimate Team, but in real life, and have all these crazy
having
plays.
So much fun.
He's peaking, but then what do you do for defense? You bring in Vic Fangio. Yeah. So that's like the big thing for me this year is like not even the offense. I kind of think that they are absolutely Super Bowl contenders.
I mean, you gotta be. I mean, you go in and beat the Chargers in LA.
Oh no.
What?
Eddie K had the Broncos defense for fantasy.
Oh, negative.
Somehow, by the grace of God, they ended up with 2 points. Holy fuck, what a miracle. I know, they had a touchdown.
They did.
Had a defensive touchdown.
The fact that they were positive points is nuts.
That is absolutely
nuts. I mean, you beat the Patriots in Foxborough and so that was their first home game, which is crazy because you go to LA, you beat the Chargers in a shootout, which we all expected. Get the job done there. And then you go in and beat the Patriots. It was an ugly game, but going into Foxborough is never easy. I don't care what anyone says about the Patriots. And then you shell the Broncos. That was so bad on so many levels for the Broncos. The amount they paid Sean Payton and Russell Wilson alone is some people's whole entire payroll for a season. And they're going to go in, and here's the thing. You can make fun of them, whatever. Everyone's going to do that. That cannot happen. That last play where A-Chain ran in, you have people literally not trying. So is it that Russell lost the locker room? Is Sean Payton just a dick and came in and was just like, this is a nightmare? He wants him out. I think that's pretty
clear. Played him the whole game.
Yeah. He wants him out. I mean, that's what people do. That's what McDaniels did with Carr last year. He ran him out of town because you have to protect your job. And if you have someone to blame and you have a scapegoat, you might as well take it. And that's exactly what he's doing. So after this, and you have to think about it this way, we'll talk about it later, but this draft class coming up is insane for quarterbacks. Insane. Like you have 8 first rounders, I think. And it's like, I don't know, Sean Payton with the young QB, but he also wants stability. Like you have Breeze your whole career. That was kind of the Saints franchise, but I mean, there's only so much to say about this game too. Like it's all over social media, but I mean, it's bad. It's embarrassing. I love it. I fucking hate the Broncos, everything about them, just as a Raiders fan. So this is heaven for me because I was worried about Sean Payton, but I guess that might take a few years.
I know. Here's the meta take I was thinking about from this is like, obviously we all know Sean Payton is a great, great coach, very innovative offensive guy.
Yeah.
He's just an overall great coach. But now that he doesn't have Drew Brees, when you really think about like the best coaches of all time or just like active, like who you think the best coaches are, it's pretty much once you separate them from the main quarterback, like they really don't do that much. Look at Belichick with Mac Jones is kind of like a 500 coach.
Yeah.
Like he's still doing a good job, but like,
but Shanahan though, like you're successful with any quarterback.
That's true. But all these guys that everyone always like, Andy Reid, Andy Reid obviously is a great coach because he got McNabb to a Super Bowl. He was in a bunch of NFC Championship games. But now that he has Mahomes, now it's God mode.
Yeah, I mean, there's some coaches where they're successful in any situation. Andy Reid, Exhibit A. But I thought Sean Payton was like that.
Me too.
And
but maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have it in him.
It's hard to judge, but remember what he said about the Broncos last year? It's like that's the worst display of coaching ever. After a huge loss on Christmas by 40, and then he just comes back and does that. It's like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Sean Payton, but those things are going to be brought up if you have a performance like that. You shit on them for a 40-point loss last year, and you just lost by 50. So those things are going to be brought up.
It's also a bad look that he was kind of like crapped on Tua last year. Him being in the media last year was kind of rough.
Got to back it up.
Yeah, got to back it up. So, I mean, I think Broncos, are they broken? Possibly. I think they've allowed 150 points in their last 3 road games. So that's good. I actually think it's
bad for the brand.
It's bad for the brand, and Walmart. The Walmart people own them now, and they have to be so butthurt. So, I don't know. Maybe the Broncos are dead, but I'd be... their defense is still pretty talented. They have talented guys. But I guess maybe we just move off the stupid Broncos. All right. Next game, probably the game of the day. Chargers, Vikings.
Oh, man. So this was the winner go home game.
Yeah, the battle of just two self-destructive, talented, but they're just like two, high school kids, and it's like, oh, you got all the potential in the world, and then they just keep botching it. They can't get out of their own way, and now only one of them can. Only one of them gets to go off to college, and it looks like it's the Chargers.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations on another 9-8 season.
Yeah.
Hopefully they make the playoff. I personally wanted, I sat there after we talked on Thursday, I think. And I was just like, okay, with the winner go home, who do I want to win? And because I just put in my head, I was like, okay, the other team's not going to make the playoffs. And as much as I want to hate the Chargers, I feel for Herbert. He had a phenomenal game.
He was gas.
Phenomenal. He went 405, 3 TDs, and it doesn't even really get talked about that much. He went 40 for 47, 405, and 3 TDs. He played phenomenal. So you know what? The Vikings won 12 one-score games last year, and they're 0-3 in one-score games this year. So we kind of knew this was coming, and I'll take the Chargers competing rather than the Vikings. I think that's just good for my viewership and good for the NFL.
Yeah, give me Herbert because Kirk Cousins, Vikings, sure, fine. You're kind of like a nice team for fantasy or something, but once we get to the playoffs, Kirk Cousins, the Vikings aren't doing anything. No. Herbert is also not going to ultimately do anything as far as Super Bowls go, but they could easily knock off some giant contenders.
No one wants to play them.
No, you think the Dolphins, Dolphins barely, eked out a win week 1?
Give me that wild card game, please.
Give it to me. But here's the question is, I think we both think the Chargers end up finding a way into the playoffs. Do you think Staley will be there to coach that game?
I think this week's huge versus Raiders.
I know.
If he drops this and goes 1-3, all of this resurfaces. It's been put on pause right now. His hot seat. It's taken a little bit of a pause because that was a huge win. I don't care what people say. Going into Minnesota and winning that game, that was a big game. But now you have the Raiders, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's
the fun. Lose those. The Raiders, this is a must win. If you go 1-3 into Cowboys and Chiefs, you are in a world of trouble.
How many do you think they need? So basically, this stretch is like I would say
And you have Bears and Jets though.
if they beat if they beat one of Cowboys or Chiefs, then he's probably good.
Yeah, but you need to win this week.
You need to win this week.
What's the early line on this? Take a guess. I'll take a guess.
Okay,
It's in
all
LA.
right. I won't look.
I'm not looking either. It's
all
in
right.
LA.
So
Chargers -5.
that's what you think?
Yeah, in LA, which is neutral turf.
Well, Jimmy is concussed. Who's the backup for the Raiders?
Oh, you don't want to know.
What? Who is it?
Hoyer.
I could talk myself into
Tell
something. He's just so bald.
I'm looking.
All right, I'm gonna say Chargers by 6.5. What is it?
5.5. We split the difference.
I think you won. But
So Brian Hoyer. But I don't know. I mean, so you know what's good though about a team that goes 0-3 and is good or relatively good is those games are still fun. Like Vikings games are still going to be fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'll take in. You want an 0-3 team that's kind of average, and you want the average teams to be like 2-1, like the Falcons. So it's like they're still competing, and I don't want to watch them, but they're still competing for a playoff spot. And you have a good team that's 0-3, like the Vikings. Like I'll take watching JJ every fucking week.
Absolutely. I mean, do you think JJ becomes? He definitely is on watch.
Yeah, well,
as far as like
the comment before was tank for Caleb. It's like, but so they try to do contract negotiations, and he just said, "I'm putting these on pause because this is he's like testing them almost." So, as much as I want to say they'll get a top 5 pick, I think they're too good to get that. And it's like they're not.
What if they would have to trade? The only way to do it is to trade Kirk. I mean, if Kirk's going to either pay the man or if he's going to leave at the end of the season, like you might as well get something for him.
Yeah, and like people are saying the Jets might want him.
How does that work? If like I don't understand salary, but I don't know how that works with Rodgers. Maybe Rodgers' salary doesn't count. I'm not sure.
So yeah, I mean. You'd have to go in there, but so then it's Nick Mullins.
I mean that'll do. I bet Mullins could keep Jefferson fantasy relevant, and he would do a great job of leading them to 2 wins.
So who do the Vikings have? The Vikings, you have like who do they have this week? At Panthers, the 0-3 bowl. I mean, that's a winnable game. What do you think the line is there? I see it.
Next week?
Yeah.
Well, it depends if Bryce Young. I would say Minnesota -2.
3.5.
3.5.
So we're on the Panthers. Keenan Allen, though, what a dog. I mean, Keenan Allen, we were talking about Mike Williams earlier. It's like they're always injured, but when they're in, they're so good. And that guy, like, he is always open. He's just a big frame. Like, when he's in, like, if you took his games without injury, and his statistics are crazy.
Dude, so he seemed like Clint Eastwood did that movie Unforgiven, and it was like basically it was like him as an old man. It was his like one last show. Where he was gonna, it was this big Western movie, and where he really kind of thought back on his career and ended up, murdering a ton of people. And it was just him as an old man murdering people. I felt like that was the Unforgiven performance for Keenan Allen's groin, because it's not going to last for 2 more weeks. I'll tell you what. That was the last. Was the last great performance of Keenan Allen's groin.
Fucked. That's so sad. I mean, so yeah. I don't know, man. I just feel for the guy. I feel for Mike Williams. Mike Williams last year was played by Brandon Staley in a game that literally did not matter. And when I say matter,
oh my God.
When I say not matter, I mean not matter that this was week 17. And no matter what the Chargers did, they were the same in the playoffs, in the same playoff seed, no matter what they did. And they played him and broke his fucking leg.
Dude, Mike. Big Mike.
I have to pee so bad.
Dude, I do too. I don't want to lose momentum. I also
It'll take me a minute max.
Okay, all right. I'll filibuster. All right, so what exactly, chat, fill me in on what's going on in this game, because unfortunately I'm not really paying attention on account of this stream. Seems like very low scoring. Is Burrow okay? And Burrow's gonna play. So Jalen Hurts is maybe a complete fraud. uh, 2 out of the 4 games the Vikes play KC and Niners. Yeah, they're gonna lose those. Ocho Cinco in the house. Yeah, I saw Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco have a show. They do. It's like a post game. I watched a little bit of it. A lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. Disagreement on every topic. I don't know. It's almost like I don't know. I think he's like training Ocho to be like another kind of like first take type talent. It's interesting. Cassidy, I was just bringing up. Someone mentioned Ocho Cinco. Ocho Cinco is on a show with Shannon Sharp.
I saw that
on YouTube. Did you see it? It's kind of good.
It is good.
But
I think
Ocho
that's
Cinco,
a long time coming.
Ocho Cinco doesn't quite understand the art of the like the going back and forth sort of thing.
Because he just yells.
He's like it makes me think that like Shannon is like mentoring him, and then it's like any topic that's brought up, automatically they both fall into either side. Like whatever side Shannon takes, like Ocho comes from the other side.
Did you see him come at Stephen A. Smith?
Ocho?
Yeah.
No.
He was just like something like you're not that black or something. Like it was so out of pocket. Like came at his head. And that's why probably, like you said, Shannon Sharp needs to mentor him, because I mean that was such a good era of wide receivers. It was Ocho Cinco. It was Terrell Owens. It was this like hothead guys, which we kind of miss right now in the NFL, right? Like we don't have that. And
yeah, dude, these Gen Z receivers.
He's gonna come in just so hot, and it's like you gotta slow your roll a little bit when you kind of like go into the scene. But
Hurts through touchdown pass.
Do you want to get moving on here?
Olamide Zacchaeus. Yes.
We got Patriots Jets.
Patriots Jets.
We can talk about this for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's the game is self-explanatory.
Yeah, Zach Wilson sucks. The Patriots are good at defense, and yeah.
Yeah, Pats have a pretty good D. Mac Jones is that would suck to have Mac Jones as your quarterback. Because not only is he boring,
so where's the skill we create? Sorry.
He's so right there with Tannehill. He's on the Tannehill.
Yeah, we have the Ritter Young, and then the Tannehill Mac Jones / Daniel Jones. Is that like where he is?
I would take. Would you? Okay. All right. Let's have a Jones off. Daniel Jones or Mac Jones?
Oh my God, Daniel Jones.
I'm taking Daniel Jones too.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Mac Jones.
Then there's the Jones off. Couldn't think of another. Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Whatever. Tony Jones. That guy. Okay. So. All right, we determined. So
Mac say that to us.
Mac Jones is not only mid, but he also seems like a bad guy. Like he seems like a truly bad guy. He's like dirty. He's got a little Grayson Allen in him.
Yeah. Did you see Sauce kind of went after him?
He's got moves. Yeah, Sauce. Well, because he grabbed someone's wiener, didn't he?
He allegedly grabbed someone's wiener. We don't have full confirmation, but those are the rumblings.
Can't be grabbing wieners unless you're Draymond. Then it's cool.
All right. Anything else on this game? Zeke led in rushing.
I don't have any thoughts on that particular subject. Interesting to see if he'll have a revenge game.
If you can name the number 1 receiver in the game.
Oh, in this game?
$100 right now.
Oh.
You're looking.
Ooh. No, I'm not. No, I'm just staring at the game, just taking it in. I'm gonna guess. I mean, I won't get it. Whoever it is, I don't know. Kendrick Bourne,
Pharaoh Brown.
Pharaoh Brown. I don't know who
Pharaoh
that is.
Brown. 2 receptions, 71 yards. All right, enough of that.
Enough. All right.
Those Commanders. I said this to you on
Will be. That's classic. Mac Jones will clog your toilet and not say anything. Dude, he does look like he would clog a toilet. That picture of him after the championship game, that guy looks like
he eats
like shit. He eats like shit. He sucks. Nobody really likes him. People are trying to make Mac Jones like happen. Remember that first year? I mean, turns out that whole draft is just shit, except for Trevor Lawrence. Like Mac Jones looked kind of good on the scale of like Zach Wilson. Like Zach Wilson.
I hate Mac Jones.
I hate Mac. This
is an anti-Mac Jones.
This is an anti-Mac Jones podcast. All right. All right. Bills, commies.
So I said this to you where it was like the Commanders is a sucker bet. And it was. And we figured out the Bills are good, so they're good. There was doubts after that week 1 loss, I think. And as you said, once they're up, you get bullied. Like Josh Allen's amount of 10+ point win games is crazy.
Okay. Bigger bully, the Bills versus shitty team, or Mac Jones?
Oh, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, the biggest bully in the league.
He was like that. He was that fat bully in 5th grade. He was the fat bully, and it's with terrible jokes and man boobs. He was the fat guy at the swimming pool that
you only hung out with him because he's good at sports. So like he's like kind of in your friend group, but like realistically, like once you get a little bit older and you start to like really hang out,
yeah,
you tell him you're going one way, you go the other. Maybe you go over to his house sometime because his parents will allow you to drink there, but that's it. All right. Starting to narrow down into a very specific person, actually.
You remember that kid we bullied in high school? Oh man. Okay. So the Commanders are still slightly above average. There was hype around them that they could have came out, and if they were close in this game, we could have considered them like guaranteed top 15 team.
Yeah.
But now you're just right on that fringe, which is fine. That's what you are. Sam Howell's your quarterback. Just because Magic Johnson's your owner doesn't mean you're good.
Sam Howell or Kenny Pickett?
How?
How?
The Howell band, don't sleep on it.
Yeah, dude, Mac Jones.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, I mean, the Howell band is coming for you, whether you like it or not. And they're going to be a tough out every week. The Bills,
dude, God. Wait, I realized I didn't actually see much of that game because I had the YouTube TV. I didn't have that one on there because it wasn't very relevant to me and it was blowout. Howell got sacked 9 times.
Yeah.
And threw 4 picks. I'm just looking at
Bills D looked incredible.
Jesus, Bills D.
All I can picture about the Bills D is Poyer having an interception and then running it back. And there's 9 guys around him. And then when they get up, they just throw it in your face. But the Bills needed that. They needed a get-right game. And they got it. So
Latavius with another touchdown.
The Commanders
Cook looks good too.
The Commanders fucked around and they found out. I mean, because if we remember, the Bills lost to the Jets week 1 and everyone was just like,
yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a Bills thing. Bet against them next year because they lost to the Steelers in that stupid game.
And now game of the week against the Dolphins. What a game. That's going to be – it's on CBS, so that's a Tony Romo.
Dude, it is actually It's fucked up that we don't get to have that on Sunday night. Instead, we
Oh,
get
yeah.
more Jets,
We
dude.
get Jets.
Zach Wilson. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. I read up on this actually today. So the first 6 weeks, the Sunday night games are preset. So I mean, this game was going to be nuts. This Jets game, like,
it would have been nuts
with Rodgers. So, but I mean, anything besides the Bills just prove they're still good and the Commanders are average. Like,
Commanders are going to beat the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
maybe twice.
Eagles podcast.
So what's interesting here is, well, the Eagles are probably still going to win this stupid Bucks game. I don't know, in first place. All right, that's okay. Okay, yeah. Let's what's the next one?
Texans Jags.
Ugh.
Wow.
Ugh. I don't know if we're willing to make this statement as a podcast, but I personally am a Trevor Lawrence hater.
I'm a Jags hater.
Okay, we're an anti-Jag podcast too.
We're haters, but the Jags, like, God, dude. All I heard about was Ridley.
Ridley.
Like, oh my God, I don't care, man. I don't care that you're drafting Ridley 4th round in your fantasy. That doesn't affect me. And the Jags are gonna get 8 wins. So leave me alone. And the hype around Trevor Lawrence, my God. How many wins did they have last year?
They like won like, I gotta look at it. I can't.
But they beat the Chargers in the playoffs, right?
They did beat the Chargers in the playoffs.
Like
but that was more Chargers.
It was Chargers -3. I don't know why I remember that, but yeah, they won.
That might have been more Chargers than.
That's fine. Okay. CJ Stroud's the truth.
Stroud boys. Yeah, the Jaguars also lost 5 straight down the stretch. I just don't really believe in the Jaguars as a thing, as anything other than being an alternate version of, or maybe like a more open offense version of the Titans, or like kind of the Chargers. Like they could be a spoiler team that could potentially beat somebody in the playoffs. Is that me that's making that? Okay, sick. Oh, now you're muted. Maybe try plugging the headphone jack. Take it out and plug it back in, maybe. Oh, you just did. Well, at least I can read your lips well. Go to your mic. Go to settings, and then check the mic.
How's that?
That's good.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right.
Do you might have to put on echo cancellation.
All right.
So if you go into audio and just click, there's like a thing for echo cancellation. You can just click it.
I'm on it. Better.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. Yeah, good.
So I think with the Jags, though, you're always going to have a chance in that division. Crazy stat. The Texans have won 20 out of the last 25 against the Jags.
Dude, what the hell is up with that? It just is a thing, and it's unexplainable, but it just is a thing. Just teams have other teams' numbers. Doesn't matter. Seemingly doesn't matter quarterback. Sometimes doesn't even matter coach. I mean, how many coaches have the Texans? How many coaches have the Texans had? Like coaches and quarterbacks and Jaguars.
Are you the Texans because of D'Amico?
I want to see them be good. I still don't know about Stroud. I like him just as far as like he's making like them kind of interesting fantasy wise.
So I told you, I think he set the record for most pass attempts to start a season as a rookie without a pick.
Yeah,
which is impressive, dude. Because every time, I mean, some of the best QBs in NFL history, their first game they go in, and their first 3 games they throw a bunch of picks. So being on the Texans and not throwing a pick, and then Tank Dell, dude, is a stud.
Dude, it's the weekend of Tank Bigsby, I think, also got in the end zone. This was the game of tanks. It was actually a tank off. There was 2, yeah. Tank Dell scored and Tank Bigsby scored.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That division's just going to be what it always is, right? I mean, talk about having people's numbers. The Colts have the Titans number. So, I mean,
Oh, damn it. I see. The thing is, all right, I'm talking to Mikey. He said, I just saw you text me. Is Tutu going to make this a sweaty matchup? Because I got housed in fantasy and I just had really so I had something sick, but it got reversed. Thanks for letting me know, man. I really appreciate it. Oh, whatever.
that game.
How about this, though? This is a little relevant. I did not know that CJ Beathard was the backup quarterback for the Jags. That would be funny if CJ Beathard was just looked real redneck and had like a mullet and like his like weird facial hair.
Dream. That's a pipe dream.
Okay, it's a pipe dream.
Colts Ravens. So the Colts are going to do what they do every year, be in every game, and I'm going to bet on them every week. And say what you want to say. We looked it up. Gardner Minshew. So listen to this. As a starter, he's 7-10, which is okay. But his stats are insane. So he has a 92 passer rating. And let me finish this up real quick. And we talked about it on Thursday. We were like,
yeah, his touchdown to
why
interception ratio.
Why aren't the Jets going after him? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I will say, I remembered him being. I felt like his arm looked a little bigger last time I saw him.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what that guy does in the off season, right? But
true.
Like, what's the story?
He seems like he might be like kind of down to just be.
Remember his? Oh yeah, I think he is. Okay, here Gardner Minshew has a passer rating of 93 with 5,900 yards, 40 touchdowns, and only 13 interceptions in 24 games.
Yeah, that's nuts. 40 to 13 touchdowns. That's crazy.
You take that all day. Like, why isn't that guy a starter in the league? And he's just electric. I just think he doesn't have that much appeal, like on a national level, but this is a win now league. And if you want to ride and die with Zach Wilson and have a ridiculous idea of getting Kirk Cousins, but just get Minshew. With the Jets roster, you'll win 8 games if you get Minshew, I think.
I'd trade for Brian Hoyer even. It's getting to that point.
Hoyer's ours, man.
Speaking of Colts, what about Jacoby Brissett? Like, he's pretty freaking washed, but maybe
he's getting a little old.
He's getting a little old. Okay, well,
Zach Moss 30 carries. Whoa!
I know, it gives me anxiety as a Jonathan Taylor holder.
Yeah,
a holder of some Taylor stock.
I don't even want to talk about Taylor because there's so much speculation on what's going on, and I feel like no one knows.
No one knows.
So, and the Ravens, I feel like they always drop big games. Unfortunately, like that's just a game the Ravens lose, like a wet game in Baltimore. And you just kind of see Lamar throwing short passes the whole time. I mean, their leading receiver was 48 yards. He was the leader in carries. Like, that's just a weird Baltimore game that's going to happen. And then you end up dropping a game to the fucking Colts.
I'm not very high on the Ravens. They even that first week versus the Texans, they were sloppy. They turned the ball over a ton. I guess
I feel like they just cleaned that up. But yeah,
Lamar was like clean game, like very good. Like, I don't know, maybe he was the best quarterback in the league last week, but like it wasn't insane. He was just kind of had a clean sheet and was opportunistic, and they beat like an injured Bengals team by like 3. I don't think they're doing anything,
rushing, which is crazy. But he had a couple Louisville-esque runs where I was like, okay, like I want to watch that, but then like he can't throw the ball.
Yeah. I don't understand why they just keep getting him like all these small, fat, like these teeny tiny outside receivers that are just super fast. Like, just give him like another Mark Andrews. I guess maybe Isaiah Likely, but just get him like he needs like a DeAndre Hopkins. He needs like someone that's not that fast, that just is in the middle of the field that he can
I
just
feel like they
sling
had
it to.
that for so long though.
When they had Hayden Hurst and
Bolden.
Andrews and Bolden.
Yeah. I feel like they had that for so long, and then their ball wasn't moving, so then they went and got fast receivers. Like that's kind of what happened in Baltimore.
Yeah,
But
Bateman,
I mean,
and
they're gonna make the playoffs.
they'll make the playoffs. It's an interesting game at the Browns.
Yeah.
Next week.
So next game here, that is an interesting game, but not one.
Oh, last thing that is somewhat relevant is Shane Steichen. Turns out, awesome.
Awesome.
He looks awesome, and the Eagles don't look nearly as awesome without him.
Nope. Anti-Eagles podcast.
Oh, Hurts threw an interception, dude.
Damn,
that's kind of screwed up, dog.
They're overrated.
Dude.
Okay, a game that I actually ended up taking a nap during, so you can kind of lead the way on this.
Bears Chiefs. Oh no,
Panthers Seahawks. I looked at the box score, the Red Rocket. Like I knew he was going to go for over 250, and he did.
He looked gas.
Yeah,
for like part of the game.
So like, not comparing Bryce Young to Mahomes, but it's like you kind of sit your rookie QB the first year, and it's like, why not? Like I don't know. I just like who fucking cares about the Panthers,
dude? All I care,
division, dude.
I actually decided to, because I'm like, you know what? I'm trying not to gamble this year, but I think that it's okay to do a little bit of daily fantasy.
We're on week 3. What's the over under? You start gambling.
Oh,
I'd say 6.
Well, see, the thing is, the Niners are such a wagon that might have to start betting on these other games to make it more interesting. But that said, I did do some daily fantasy, which is just terrible EV. Like
underdog fantasy. Do you do that?
No, I don't do. I just did DraftKings, like just the classic, and just entered a few things. I won like $160. I entered a bunch of them, so I was interested in this Carolina game because I picked up Thielen. All of a sudden, he looks awesome again, just with an average Dalton.
Yeah, I feel like he's a different player with Dalton. I can't really explain why, but he's a different player with Dalton versus Bryce Young. Because Bryce Young's trying to make too much happen versus Andy Dalton just going to make throws. And like Thielen's just he's the definition of just an old veteran wide receiver.
He's a grizzled.
Yeah, I mean that's like a practice squad hero that turned into. I mean he was fire on the Vikings for so long.
Fire.
He was like number 1 over Diggs for a year. But anything on this game? I mean, okay, here's a good question. What's your level of scaredness? Great vocabulary there. What's your level of scaredness versus like of the Seahawks as a Niner fan?
You know, it's kind of like, I don't know. They're kind of like the Sacramento Kings in the NBA, like last year. Like, you know, like they're not ultimately, like maybe they could pull a first round upset, but that's about it. Except for this Niners team doesn't equate to last year's Warriors team, because this Niner team's like, it's like in the top tier. Like, yeah, they're not really worried.
You just hate going to Seattle every year, though, right? Like that's just
they'll lose one of the games to Seattle.
You think they make the playoffs?
Well, I mean, you know, it'd be really interesting is if after all, if there ended up being 3, could there be 3? Because I think the Rams are better than the Seahawks.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to be duking it out.
Yeah, so it's just like picking the Rams or the Seahawks.
Yeah,
I always like your division. It's competitive. I mean, the Cardinals suck, but the
Cardinals suck.
You guys always have you guys will have 12 or 13 wins, but then the Rams and the Seahawks will both be like around 9 and 8. I guarantee one of them has a tie.
Yeah. You know what? Charbonnet, I'll give you 2 notes, and they're both UCLA notes. Zach Charbonnet, he is like, I mean, he's not better than Kenneth Walker, but he kind of gives you that that Derrick Henry sort of, like, he is just a battering ram. And he absolutely just fucked up one of the defenders and just sent him flying. Like it was sick. And also Jake Bobo, he was a wide receiver at UCLA. The guy ran I think they said he ran a 5 1 or something. It was between a 4.9 and a 5.1 40. and Pete Carroll just like brought him in, and then he just caught a touchdown.
Jake Bobo, 6'4", 207.
Yeah.
Whoa.
1 catch for 5 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
Like but I think the only thing he can do is like he's just like kind of shifty.
I'm a huge Kenneth Walker guy.
Yeah.
I think he's super good. And there was some people saying he wasn't going to get like more than 50% of the carries. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Pete
right.
Carroll's a running coach, and he is way too smart to do that. Kenneth Walker is so solid. Like him and Dameon Pierce last year were the two standouts, and I didn't want that to happen, but with Geno Smith as QB, damn, I chuckle. Do you chuckle? Is it
chuckling?
I do too, but he wins.
Yeah, he's not bad. I mean, he's okay. Geno Smith.
We are laughing as we say it. So
okay, Geno Smith or Daniel Jones.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith or Stafford.
Oh, dude, I gotta go Stafford just because he looked awesome versus the Niners. But it's like if last year Stafford.
Geno Smith or Lamar Jackson.
I got Lamar.
Okay, Geno Smith or Deshaun Watson.
Oh, Geno Smith.
Okay, Geno Smith or Mac Jones.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith or Tannehill, Geno Smith. I feel okay. Is Geno Smith a top 12 QB?
I'd have to look at the list. I'm going to say that he's number 13.
Okay, so he's better. Geno Smith or Jimmy G?
Oh, I mean, I'm Jimmy G on the. I'm gonna give Jimmy a chance.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him a chance.
I mean, he's top 15 for sure as a starter.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy into he was concussed because he did get his brains blown out like at the beginning of the game.
Chiefs Bears. So
gross.
Yeah, Justin Fields sucks. Chiefs are still good.
And wait. I have one. I have a good one. Geno Smith or Dak Prescott?
Geno Smith. Oh man. Geno Smith or Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, Geno.
Or anti
for this year, maybe Geno.
Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins?
Cousins.
You're a Cousins guy.
I mean, I don't think that Cousins is like insane.
Derek Carr.
Oh, Geno.
What about Love?
I'd keep Love if I were the Packers. I mean, I'd keep Love. I'd keep Lawrence, like just because they're young.
Yeah.
Geno seems like I think Geno's in a good spot.
Is Lawrence like a veteran to you for some reason? Like, I don't put him in that young quarterback. Like,
yeah, I mean, he was in the same draft class as Mac Jones.
So, anything to say about this Chiefs-Bears game other than the Bears suck? The Chiefs are going to win the Raiders division. And Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and like QAnon's coming for the defensive coordinator for the Bears or something. Like that's about all I know.
I fucking hate the Bears.
Dude, they really bum me out.
Who
would have thought that we would be pining for the days of Mitch Trubisky and Khalil Mack?
Oh, or Rex.
It was not Mitch. Okay, the Mitch Bears with at least a good defense were not bad.
Yeah, and Tariq Cohen, like I don't know.
Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough to watch. I feel for it. I feel for Mr. Big Cat. Like,
yeah,
it's sad. They're clearly the worst team in the league. Like, I don't even think it's up for debate. They are the worst team in the league.
Imagine getting down 34. 41 points at the end of the third quarter, or no, halfway through the third quarter, and your quarterback can't even break 100 yards in garbage time. That is shocking.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
the hunt for Caleb Williams. But next game we can breeze by pretty quick. Cardinals Cowboys, like
just one of those games.
One of those games. They fucked over every single parlay, like the can't lose parlay in the afternoon, every survivor pool.
What was it? 12 and a half?
Yeah. And they won by 12.
How dare they?
20. Yeah, they just, but it's the Dak Prescott thing so funny. Like,
I know. Dude.
Go ahead.
Ocho, I was listening on the YouTube show. I was listening to Shannon and Ocho argue, and like Shannon obviously goes right for Dak Prescott, and Ocho gave like actually like I don't even know if he meant to, but he gave like a very reasonable take that you can't even argue with, and just kind of like showed how like it's all kind of stupid. And Shannon just kind of moved off it to a different angle and attacking Zach, but he was just like, yeah, like he's not like a top 3 quarterback in the league. Like, what do you want from him? Like, everyone has pretty bad games. And he's like, but like, and he's like, Joe, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about how shitty Dak is. And he's like, but like, what else? What would you rather they do? Well, like, what is the advice to give? What would you, what other quarterback would you want? There's nobody out there. And like
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. Like, that's why you need the crazy fans on the internet to make it seem like there's like this crazy group of people that actually think like Dak is like a top 3 quarterback, so that then you can argue against that. Yeah. That's why you need that.
It's just a never-ending argument that I want no part of and don't care about, because they're going to get second in their division. They're going to play the wild card game, and it's going to be, is this Dak's last game? Blah, blah. Sure. Like, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit about the Cowboys.
I don't. And it's like, I don't hate them. I just don't care.
Like, the only reason why I kind of like am interested in them is that there's some like people that make good sports content that like the Cowboys. So it's like funny to like see their reactions.
Hitting on them. Like,
yeah, like, hey, cousin Sal. It's good. But I mean, I feel like similarly about like the Boston teams, like there's a lot of people that like those too. I like to see them lose. It's funny.
Yeah.
Why are Cowboys? Should we have a West Coast bias State of the Union of like, why the hell are they America's team?
I actually was thinking that, and I was going to bring this up. Why are they America's team? But I came to the point, what is America's team? What does that entail?
America's team might be the Navy SEAL, the Navy SEALs.
Yeah. America's team is Boulder. They're America's team. Like, everyone likes them, and you're gonna root for Colorado either way. Like, everyone wants Colorado and root for them. The Cowboys, everyone hates them.
Mushrooms are legal.
Yeah. I think it's just they have like they're the number 1 most valuable franchise. They have the most bandwagon fans across the country. And yeah.
When does the bandwagon stop? At what point, like the New York Yankees, how long, like if is it 2045 and the New York Yankees, like they're still like the team?
It's the market.
It's the market.
It's the big market team. And it's like they sell the most jerseys. They're a big market team. I mean, but here's the thing is when they became America's team was like in the 90s when they had Aikman, when they were playing against the Niners in the conference championship every year. But yes, that's gone away, but you still just have these lingering Cowboys fans that won't go away. And I'm hoping in like our era, in the era below us, it's like, do you even want to be a Cowboys fan, like bandwagon? Because what bandwagon is there to hop on?
I know. It's true. I mean, you just kind of have to follow. I think that maybe people will just follow quarterbacks. So like you just a Mahomes guy, then you're a Chiefs guy. Yeah. No one will follow Dak.
I feel like the Chiefs are going to be like America's team almost. You got You got Mahomes, Kelsey, then you got Taylor Swift now. The whole thing is coming together for America's team.
Guess what else is no, now that it's now that it's not Rodgers versus Mahomes on Sunday night, it's just going to be the Taylor Swift show, and her documentary is conveniently dropping within like the next week or something, and then her re-release of her album.
Why do you?
I don't know. Something smells fishy. I listened to somebody talking about it.
Sus.
I'm totally not a Swiftie.
What's that line?
Dude, what's the line on the Swift movie?
What's the line on the Chiefs Jets?
Oh,
it's in East Rutherford.
Bro, they just shouldn't even put that on TV. What would you rather watch?
That is the worst case scenario for Zach Wilson, to be put on national television to get embarrassed.
It's his very last game as a Jet and in the NFL.
That is the worst case. Like, if he got slipped into a 10 a.m. game, but he is on the spotlight, national TV.
Oh, I have an idea. So they should do, like, you know how the YouTube TV thing where they do the double box? They should play the game, but only have the whole time. We're gonna have a double box, one on Taylor Swift, and then the other one on Zach Wilson's mom.
Oh my god! And then just Zach Wilson and his face the whole game, or just their sideline. And it's Rodgers'
shiny head.
Rodgers is just not even going to the games. Like, Jesus Christ,
dude! Wait, is Rodgers not going to the games?
He's not there.
Oh, that's such a Kyrie move.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so accurate. Just Kyrie.
Huh.
Mine is a Swiftie. Okay. Last game. Are you gonna let me have my 2 minutes of bitching?
Oh, let's do it. I hated this game too. I'm a huge.
So Jimmy G threw 2 shitty picks. The Raiders are what everyone expected them to be, average to below average. What Josh McDaniels did was something that I'm still looking for an explanation for. You are down by 8. It is 4th and 3 on your 15-yard line.
Explain this to me, because I watched it without audio and I was perturbed. I was screaming at my girlfriend. She didn't understand like why, but I was like, "No, you don't get it. Something just happened."
So you're down 8. It's 4th and 3. So first of all, they're kicking a field goal before. There was a penalty that I've never seen before, which is like you put your arm on the offensive lineman and lift yourself up. So they got a gift. It's 4th and 3. So if
when did they kick that? Because they kicked that at like 4 minutes and like 30 seconds left or something.
It was like 2:40.
Oh, it was like 2:40.
The only justification is you do that, then you have 3 timeouts, but you're trusting the Raiders defense, which makes no sense. So but they did it, and then you're down 3, and then you just need a touchdown still because you're down 5.
But are we talking about the one that they made or the one that got called?
I'm talking about kicking the field goal. You're
just
down
in the first place. Yeah.
You're down 8, and then you're down 5. You need a touchdown either way. So what is the advantage of getting the ball on your own 30? You have to score a touchdown either way. And he kicked a field goal. The Steelers get a first down. We get the ball with 17 seconds left. He throws a pick. It's like, and he looked like he was going to shit his pants when he made that decision. And okay, you can say we're going to stop Kenny Pickett, whatever. Either way, you need a touchdown, and you're on the 15-yard line. And, the only thing I could think about, there are a few teams, and maybe the only team that would have pulled this is the Raiders. Everyone's just like, oh, the Raiders. No, I don't think the Cardinals would have. I thought about that. I don't think the Cardinals would have made a dumb decision like this.
No, Chargers.
Okay. No, I don't think they would with Herbert.
Yeah.
You're
right.
I understand why I have to suffer like this. There is suffering when your team's bad, but this can be managed. I don't ugh, I don't understand it. And everyone's just gonna laugh it off like, oh, fucking Raiders. That was so stupid. That was so stupid. Like he should be fired for that. And all we do is make rash decisions. Just make a rash decision and fire him. Like Mark Davis, just go get drunk at the fucking tables and fire him. Like I don't know what else to do. And that was such a winnable game. And 2-1 versus 1-2 is such a world of difference. Now we have the Chargers. That's a winner go home game for both teams almost, but we'll see.
Dude, I so feel you, and especially like when they were kicking. Okay, the first time they kicked it, and then they get the penalty. That is a gift from the gods, and it's like now you've burned up another minute or whatever running your 3 plays, and then now you not only like it's like the kicking is bad enough, but it's like so now you're just gonna kick, but a minute after. Like, what the hell? You just burned a minute to kick it again. But yeah, that didn't make any sense at all. You were close. It's not like they were like going up and down the field all game. Like they were close.
3 yards, and Devontae's been dominating the whole game. It's not like you haven't like been moving the ball, or not like you have potentially the best game of a wide receiver the whole weekend. Like that guy was getting him open for 3 yards should have been free. And on top of that, like Renfro hasn't done anything, but he's like third down king. And I don't know, to answer that question, Jacobs, you cannot work out with the team the whole preseason and work out at your high school and like expect to come in and explode. He looks fat. And their offensive line is not good. It was good last year, but it was terrible last night, dude. Jimmy G had no time the whole game, but here's the thing. You have a chance to win the game, and you don't even give yourself a chance. That's the most frustrating thing, is you don't give yourself a chance to win the game when you have a chance. And this is a league where everyone's going for it now, and you kick a field goal. Like, oh, yeah.
That was wild. That was absolutely wild. I also like what offense is that? Like they're running the no running game offense with just the only option being Devontae and the occasional Jacoby Myers. Like what?
It's not fun.
Like where are the tight ends? Like you paid Austin Hooper. Where is he? Michael Mayer.
Tight end didn't have a catch last night.
Dude, Michael Mayer. I saw Mayer like missed a. Do you remember that play when the tackle got into the like basically sacks Jimmy as he was handing it off? That was like because Mayer didn't come over, and then Jimmy's first pick was in the vicinity of Mayer. Made me think
Mayer had 1 target.
I think he caught the 2-point. That's all he did. And then also, but like where? What's going on? What's going on, Josh McDaniels?
Dude, it wasn't good last year, and he ran Derek Carr to town because he didn't want to take the blame for it, and he's just as bad.
Josh McDaniels.
He's not a head coach. He's a coordinator, and that's okay, but he's not a head coach. Because if you put in that situation, Belichick would have laughed at him if he said he's kicking a field goal. If he was the coordinator,
Belichick, there's no way in hell Belichick does that.
Yeah. And dude, coordinators are coordinators. Like he doesn't have the balls to make a good decision as a head coach, and it just showed. His face, dude, he looked like he was going to shit his pants.
Dude, he's got one of those faces where like you can tell like if he has like a big night of eating like a lot of pizza and stuff, like he has like a really puffy face. He looks like he has it's not good. Yeah, it's like Daniel Tosh on creatine or something.
he's not looking too hot, and I think people aren't talking about it, but he's on the hot seat. He was on.
No one's talking about how hot his seat is. No one is
on hot seat to start the season. Like this is his 3rd year as coach, and he hasn't produced, and he got a big contract, and no one wants to talk about it. But now, after that, it's come out finally. But he's on the hot seat, man, and assuming we'll see about this Chargers game, but it's Chargers, then Packers, and Patriots. Those are all losable games.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're upper mid tier of teams in the NFL, but
I think they're upper mid tier.
yeah.
If
No, I'm saying the
Jimmy, but if
teams they're playing are upper mid tier. Chargers, Packers, Patriots. Like
oh yeah,
mid tier, and those are all losable games. So
I'm still optimistic about the team. I just hate when these teams have like so much talent and it just doesn't seem like it's going together. Like what the hell was that first drive versus the Bills? Like that looked so good. But where is that?
Dude, I don't like Collinsworth. I'm indifferent on him, but he said that last night. He was like, I don't get it. Like you have all of these pieces and it's just not coming together. Guess what that is? Coaching.
Yeah.
It's so clear. And it's just a dumpster fire as usual, and I'm sad.
And there's no real there's the only thing you could do is just talk yourself into some other coach, maybe.
And start the process over. It's like, do we draft a quarterback? Probably. I mean, you have to. You'll just have him as backup. But
dude, you know what I'd be rooting for if I were you is get Brady into ownership.
I want Penix.
Oh, Penix would be
with Devontae.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, like at this point, like maybe just trade for Trey Lance and just play him, and just maybe something happens.
No, we're not a Niners. We're not a Niners recycling bin for quarterbacks. Get out of here. You just selfishly want to see Trey Lance play.
I do.
Yeah,
I just want to see but he's like, it's just like there's not that many unopened presents in the land of.
No.
I don't know.
No. He can replace Dak is what he can do.
That you're right. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you can do that. I want no part of him.
Yeah, the Jets might just trade for Dak.
Busting on our first round pick, Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. My jaw dropped when we picked him, and we could have had Gonzalez on. Who was on the Patriots that went to Oregon. We needed a corner. I'm done.
I mean, the Mayer pick was good, but what's up? Like, this is like the earliest tight ends are like being used like all of a sudden. I guess maybe are they just blocking? Like they just have to block?
I don't know, man. It's hard. It's not easy.
Dude, I still have hope for them.
What do you think? So you have Chiefs, Niners, and then after that, who's like your 3, 4, and 5?
I mean, if we're talking right now at this very second, Dolphins, 3.
Okay. And then who's after that?
Probably the Bills and the Eagles.
Okay, and then that third tier is like, it's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like Eagles /
Baltimore, Packers, Browns. Like, I don't even know what the middle of the NFL is.
Falcons.
Oh boy,
they're mid also.
And no, after 5 it drops off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
what's gonna make it great this year, because I'm looking at all these NFL games and I'm just like, that game's average. But turns out it's going to be a great game because it's very like everyone's good. Not good.
The Bucks are good.
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, they're doing just multi-screen. Do you see this?
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you, ESPN.
Thank you. Okay. Stafford. Oh God, he's bad.
Oh, Geno. Geno Smith or Joe Burrow?
Geno Smith. Yeah. I was gonna ask that one earlier, but I thought that was one step too far.
Wait, what happened in that? Whatever.
What about Goff, dude? We didn't talk about him.
Dude, the Lions are just Goff is good.
Goff's good. He's an accurate quarterback that doesn't make too many mistakes. Which it seems like every quarterback we talk about is just like, how many mistakes are they making?
Dude, what do you say if the Bungles lost tonight?
I'd still have the same view on him.
Yeah.
I look at him as like,
dude, there's that extra game,
I look at him as like the 10th or 11th best team. Like, I always thought they were overrated. I never like. I saw something like how lucky they've gotten in the playoffs. Like they had that one huge run back from the defensive lineman. The Chiefs like fully slipped up one year. And I'm not sold on Jamar Chase being a top 3 receiver. I don't know.
Dude. Yeah, well, Jamar, it's like,
Jamar
but
Chase
Jamar's another one of
and
those
Ayuk.
guys that you
Jamar Chase or Brandon Ayuk.
I love it. Like Jamar Chase is like it sounds like
AJ Brown or Jamar Chase.
Okay, what about this first? AJ Brown or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith is kind of the Ayuk of the Eagles.
He is. He is. You know what a good week was Cooper.
Dude, I had him in DraftKings as my like captain, and I ended up finishing 3rd in this contest, which is where I basically won all my money. But the number 1 actually got cashed out super fat. It was something like $600 or $700, and if that Cooper second touchdown counted, bro,
that was the worst inadvertent whistle I've ever seen.
Oh,
dude, he had like a full yard in between his foot and the sideline.
By the way, so are the Eagles doing the stupid like cheating play right now? I'm assuming. I just see Jalen Hurts up the middle for no gain.
Yep. Oh, he didn't get it on 3rd and goal. They gonna cheat again?
Dude, stop cheating.
Stop cheating.
It's not fair. Don't do the cheat play.
Their coach is such a douche.
Dude, he's an idiot.
He's just a douche.
I'm fully talked myself into it being all the Steichen guy and the organization. Because like they got Doug Peterson.
They didn't even get close. Okay, are they gonna cheat? Okay, they're cheating again.
Oh God.
They got it.
Cheaters.
We're gonna talk the Eagles into an undefeated season.
No, I know. Okay, dude, I gotta pee an incredible amount, and I need to go get a new Zen can. So I'd be down to do another one of these, maybe previewing the week ahead, and that's maybe what we touch on college a little bit there, because I know you
got all my college stuff, so we can do that. But
dude, this is a good stream, man.
Geno Smith is the truth.
Yeah. Geno Smith is the truth. Mac Jones is the biggest bully on the planet. And America's team is, I don't know.
The Niners.
The UC Davis Aggies. All right.
Later, bro.
Later. Oh, dang. I was trying to be all smooth and like use an outro.